All right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome today to our day of learning, and today we would continue from where we stopped in our previous class. So all we have been doing so far is trying to expose endpoints. So when they say expose endpoints, what do I mean? Um, Marianne, when they say expose endpoints, what does that mean? Marianne Uba, yes.
So I don't get your question again. Please come
When
again.
someone says expose endpoint, I want to expose endpoints. It's a popular backend language, backend slang. Yeah, I want to expose endpoint. What does that mean?
Okay, I think okay. What it means is making
Just say it anyhow.
giving out your endpoint so that other developers or front-end person can
Exactly.
make use of it.
Yeah, like creating the controllers and all. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Samuel, you have a different
No, actually,
sir.
that's what I knew. Say that it's a way of communicating, giving anyone who wants to communicate with your application a platform for them to
Okay.
communicate.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. So in our previous class, we were able to we looked into where our focus was on the user controller, right? So we had to expose endpoint for creating a user, for um getting a user by ID and all. Then for getting all users, this was what we did in our previous class. Delegate, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah,
Please,
good
can
evening.
you zoom in? Like most of the
Okay.
YouTube videos,
Sorry.
I usually struggle.
Sorry. Is this clearer now?
I think it should be better than this.
All right, it's clearer for everyone, right? All right, now let's proceed.
Yes.
So please, before I start, in fact, let me ask if Marian Abate, it's been a long time. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, you've not been attending classes, like 2 classes now, if not 2 or 3, right?
Yes, I traveled about 2 weeks ago, so
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
trying to catch up on the videos and then to continue. I will
Okay.
never retire. I must complete this class. It's
Exactly.
a
I like
promise
the
I made to
spirit.
myself, and I know I'm going to do it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. All right, well done. Just try and watch the previous videos, okay? You might get confused today, but just watch the previous video so everything will become clearer, okay? Then Precious Book, you've not been attending class, 3 classes. Precious, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
How are we now?
So I'm
What's
fine.
going on?
So I was in school, so I'm done. But I've been watching the
Okay.
videos. It was the last class that I've not watched.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well done. Yeah. All right. Now let's proceed. So last class we were able to expose endpoint for create user, get user by ID, get all users, which was working fine. Then I gave a little task for us to go try that out, which has to do with there was an issue when creating a user. So we were able to create, the issue was that with this logic now, with this implementation, it is possible for a user to it's possible for 2 users to have the same email, which shouldn't be so. So I assigned that task to you guys to go create a branch, then solve this issue. So I don't know, the gift, the league way, were you able to do that?
So no, I was not able to do it too.
Okay.
So there is something that happened. You see, I did not submit my tax on time. I submitted it on Sunday.
Okay. This thing is not supposed to be that hard now. Delegate.
It's
Did you
not
do
to...
it?
No, I've not done.
You forgot.
My task. It's time. I'm still trying to catch up with the YouTube video.
All right. It will keep compiling because I won't do it anyways. So that's fine. Today there will be more.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What did you say we should do that we should?
This to do now. Prevent duplicate emails.
We should duplicate email. Like
prevent duplicate email. Yeah. A user should not create an account that has the same email with another user. Like we should prevent duplicate email.
So, okay, should I answer it now?
No. Create the branch, then do it.
Okay.
There's no time for that. All right. Yeah. Then the other task was to implement, update, and delete. I'm sure we didn't try it out. That's fine. Okay, now let me run the program. Let me run it now. So we see the endpoints we have currently. So what we'll be doing today is we'll expose the endpoint for the user. Then we'll do same for the projects, and we'll also do same for to do tax. Yeah, to do tax. So after doing that, I think we'll be done with the basic endpoints today. And then on Thursday we're going to authentication, right? Because that is that's a concept on its own anyways. So to go into authentication, because for you to be able to perform these operations where you create the user, where the admin creates the user, create a project, create a to-do task, you have to be authenticated. You have to log into the application. So without being logging in, you won't be able to perform all these operations. So on Thursday, hopefully, that will be our last class anyways. We'll look into authentication. Then next week, on Tuesday, we'll continue the authentication, maybe look into login, sign up, and all. Okay. All right. Let's see. This is running now. Hope we can see the screen. Okay. This is still running. This is still loading. Okay. Can we see the UI, the Swagger?
No, sir.
Okay. Coming. All right. How about now?
Yes.
All right. So we have the user, we have the get user and get user by ID. So 3 endpoints has been implemented, which are these: the create user, the get user by ID, and the get all users. So this is what we have here, right? Okay, let's see how many users we have in our database. So this might be confusing to some people. So I would advise you go through the previous video, please. So these are the users we have currently. User 1, we have over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 users. And if you check the first issue now, user 1003, 1004, 1005, they have the same email, which shouldn't be so, right? It shouldn't be so. So we need to try and fix that. Okay, let's continue. Update. Yep. So I'm going to stop the program.
Excuse me, the last thing
go
you
ahead.
just showed now, the last page you just showed and talked about sending the
Yes.
emails. Is that an assignment for everybody or for just those that attended the class that day?
It's for everyone. If you go through the video, you will have to attempt it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right. Thanks. So let's go into the update operation. The update operation. So for the update operation, is still the same flow, right? It's still the same flow. So we create our method. Before we create the method, we have to put the REST API. What type of method is this? So it is going to be what, since we want to update, what did I say about updating an entity? What REST API are we using or method? Is it HTTP GET or post or put or delete when updating?
Put.
All right, thank you. All right, put. So public. Someone might be confused what this async is doing. So when you watch the last video, you would know much better, please. Async. Okay, go ahead.
The certificate of patch, is it also for this?
Sorry?
Patch, the patch method.
This tax.
Patch, put and put.
Patch.
Patch.
Okay, patch. Yeah, patch and put. They work slightly. Patch is more of, okay, let me describe how that patch operates. It's another REST API method. Let me describe how that patch operates. Can you see my notepad?
No.
Okay, let me make that visible. Can you see it now?
No, sir.
Okay, let's see. All right, how about now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is it now. Patch works similar. In fact, it works the same way with put, right? Patch, how patch works, it's the meaning of patch means it partially updates a resource on the server. So what do I mean by partially update? So say for instance, you have a user, let's say a user with the following information: name, address, phone number, email, okay, email. So patch works this way. If I want to update a part of the resource, like when I said it's updates a part of the resource, if I want to just update Port Harcourt, all I just need to do is send only this information, right? Send only this as a request to the backend, and it's going to update that, right? Why for update, you are not sending only this, you are sending everything. Do you get the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for patch now, patch is when maybe you want to update address, you just send address to the backend and it gets updated. Meanwhile, for updates, you are sending the entire body. So even if you want to change only address, you still send the entire body plus the new update for that address and it still get updated. So that's just the two different. That's why I said both works the same way, right? Okay, let's proceed. So I think then we have the tax, and which is taking an action result of then the name of the method update user. So in here, when you want to update a user, so for example, now you have 4 users in the, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you have 4 users in the database and you want to update user 2. What you are interested in, there are 2 things you are interested in. The first parameter is the ID of the entity you want to update, right? So after the ID, the next one is the model that you want to update, or the entity you want to update. The ID and the entity, those 2 things are important parameters you need to consider when updating an entity: the ID and the entity. Okay, so int ID, then the entity. So in this case, we are our focus is on the user, so we use the user model. Great. Now before we okay, we need to check this ID here now, right? The ID that we want to update. First of all, there's a possibility that although it can never happen in the front end, it can't happen. But when we are testing, right, we need to check that this ID that we want to use to update is in the database, right? It's in the database. If it's not in the database, then return a bad request. Sorry about the background noise. Return a bad request saying the user does not exist or user doesn't match. Are we following? Hello, are we following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yep, thanks. So let's check now. First of all, check if the user ID exists. All right, exists. So how we do that is if this ID coming here, if this ID coming here is not equal to the user dot ID, if this ID coming here is not equal to the user dot ID, if this is not equal to this, what should happen? Then but instead of doing this, we can do it this other way. Anyways, we can do it this other way. Let's do it this other way, how we have been used to doing it. I can decide to create a private method, right? I can decide to create a private method, private, that returns a bool. User whose mic is on. Okay, right. I can decide to create a private method that will be responsible for checking if a user exists. If a user exists, it's going to return true. If that user does not exist in the database, it will return false. That's what I want to do. A private method to check to return true if user exists, or false if user doesn't exist. Okay, so private bool is the data type. That is, this method will be returning true or false. Then the method name user exists. Then we need the ID. So what is it going to return? It's going to return, I can decide to var results equal to context dot users. I hope we still remember this. So I want to gain access to the database functionalities, the database context functionality. So for me to gain access, I have to call the context first, which was what I initialized here, which is this here. Tax management DB context. This was where it was being initialized. Then you call the DB set users in this case. Then it will now give you access to the various methods you would use. So if I use any, what this any does is it returns a bool. If you check now, bool, this is what it's going to return, which tallies with what we have here. So it goes to the database to check if this ID here, if this ID exists in the database, return what? True. If it does not, return false. Are we following? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So any. So open the bracket. This is going to take in the wait first, hold on. Let me check something here. Let's use this instead. Let's use this instead of that. Let's use this one. We did this in our previous class. Find async. Yeah. Let's use this one instead. Check if user ID exists in the database or not. Let's use this one instead. Okay. So that we don't confuse some people. Let's use that one instead. Okay. All right. So we have this user equal to await user find context dot local user cannot be declared because okay, I'm using user here, so let's change it. User exists var user exists. All right, so let's check if this user is in the database, right? So if what user exists is equal to null, what does that mean? What does that mean?
If it is empty.
Yeah, so does it means is it not found or
Not found.
all right, not found. Return not found. There are so many methods, like database DB context gives us access to so many methods that we can still use to implement this, right? You can use any. You can use, there are so many methods you would use for that, but to keep it very simple, you use find async to check and validate if this user is in the DB. Okay, so it comes here. If this user does not exist, it's going to return this and exit the method. But if the user exists, then let's proceed to the next, which has to do with updating the user. Okay. So that's it's going to be the result Let's check up first. Let's see. Let's copy this one out here. Paste it here. Update. Sync. Let's see. Let me see. Update the sync. Let me try something. Update. It's not working fine. So this user exists now. So the next thing is to call this context dot entry. We have context.entry. So what is context.entry? What it does is we're going to pass in the current state of the entity, then we'd equate it to what the modified version of the entity and save it all at once. That's what we want to do now. So we have context.entry, open bracket. What do we want to update? It's taking the entity, object entity. Then one thing we need to know is, one thing we need to start practicing is more of when you are using methods you're not familiar with. That's why there's a need of this documentation. That's why this documentation is here for you to just read through to know what is happening. So this method is actually taking object entity, meaning it's taking this particular model. This is what we need to pass in as argument into this method here. Okay. So context.entry, then what do we want to update? We want to update what? The user, right? Then dot state. We have this state that tries to get the current state. So it's more like what that is doing is in the front end. Can you hear me? Let me know that someone is following. Everyone is following. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. In the front end,
Yes.
these are the models, right? These are the models, and the user wants to update this address, right? So it comes to the backend. This line of code, .entry of user, which is trying to get this entry. .state is trying to get the current state of what the user is sending, right? The request. So .state, okay, equal to, there's what we call, there's a concept called entity state. Entity state, what does this do now? Entity state tries to track the change and assigns it to what is in the database. Okay, so that's the meaning of this entity state. Entity state dot modified. So if you check the meaning, it says the entity is being tracked by the context and exists in the database. Some or all of its property values have been modified. Some or all of its property values have been modified. So what that means is some, meaning this or all of the properties have been modified. Do we get that?
No, sir.
The gift, you raised your hand.
So, what is entity states? I don't know what is modified.
Okay, let me come again so I will explain.
Okay, sir.
All right. Now, these are the properties I have in the front end, right? I have the name, address, phone number, email, right? This is updates operation we want to do. Context.entry, user, what this is doing is it's trying to get the state rather, it's trying to get the current state or the request that is being sent to the backend, right?
Yes.
Great. Entity.modified is saving it, or it is tracking that change and saving it to the user entity.modified. Entity.modified is tracking that request and assigning it to the user. Do you get that now? Hello?
Sir.
It's still confusing, right?
Yes.
Don't worry, when we do the other, when we do project endpoint, it will become clearer, right? But just know that when we are updating an entity, okay, first of all, we check to make sure that entity exists. Then,
So I understand that one.
great,
Is this
we use
second one?
this to get the current state, right? To get the current
Okay.
state or
Yes.
the properties from the front end, which is this now, right? I'm trying to
Yes.
get the current state, even with the value, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, that is not enough. I need to track it to my database. Like database context needs to track that change, that update. And that is why I'm calling the entity state dot modified, which will track that change that has been made in the front end.
Okay, so this entity state, is it a property?
No, it's a class. Let's go into the class to see. I don't know, sometimes this doesn't grant me access. It's a class that is responsible for tracking the change that is being made in the front end.
Okay, so what of modify?
That's it now. It's modifying what you are doing. You are actually modifying, right? You are making a change to a property. You are modifying or you are editing. What's the meaning of modify?
I don't know what to modify. That's what I'm asking.
English word. What is the meaning of modify?
Modify.
Who
To
wants
edit
to?
something.
Eh? Right?
To edit something.
Exactly, to edit something. So if I want to edit this state, this entity, I just call in the entity state. Entity stands for, it could be user, it could be project. So assuming I want to update the project. So what will it be? It's going to be context.entry bracket project.state, which will get the project properties from the front end. Then entity state.modified would now track that change, that project change from the front end. When we do project controller, it will become clearer. It's the same for project, is the same for any update operation.
Okay. I get this one now.
Right?
Yes.
Great. So that doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. There's one final thing we need to do. And that is what? There's one final thing we need to do. And that is
Return.
what? No,
Save it to the database.
exactly. We need to save it to the database. And that is where our saved changes as seen comes in. Right?
I want
Are
to
we
save.
following? What did I say?
Yes,
What was the
because
last thing? What was the last thing?
she just said save to this database. I didn't get
You
what she.
understand now, right? You understand why we are saving to the database.
Yes.
Because I know you were in the last class, so we need to save this to the database. Await, then call the context. Deligwe, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, this entity state, does it mean
Yeah.
it knows the method or let me say the method it is called in, such that if you call it in an update user method, the entity state will refer to the user entity.
Yes, see, this is the user now. It's referencing this user. This user is actually for this user entity.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm just talking about the entity state. Like, what is it exactly? It's stating to it an entity.
It's a track. If you read the documentation, like this is just a summary of the documentation. But if you read the proper documentation, what this is doing is DB context now, right? It needs to track that change. It needs to track it. So a way to track it is by calling the entity state dot modified, which would get that change and assign it to the main user entity.
So in this case now, is it just the user entity or any entity at all?
Any entity, yeah. But in this case, we are using user. So if we go into project, it means we are going to be calling what? Project, project, and we want to update it now. Now, this is going to dynamically change the project entity because of this data type project.
Okay, so it tracks the data type, whatever is in
Now
that
I
data
can
type.
hear you. You said what?
So it tracks the data type.
Yes, this data type. Yeah,
type
this entity.
okay,
Is this entity it's focusing? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So after doing this, it has to return a response to the front end, which we can return no content. No content. Let's return no content and all. If we don't do this, don't worry, I'm going to comment this out first. Let me comment this out. And we'll update. We'll just try it out and see. Yeah, the gift, go ahead. The gift, you can talk. Yeah, go ahead.
So you are returning no content. Is it like when you don't have anything added in database? Is
I
that why
just
you're
want
using no
to,
content?
no content is like returning 204, which is success, right? My
Okay.
job is to update something in the database. So when
Okay.
it's successful, I can return no content to the front end. But when I'm fetching an information from the backend or from the database, I'm returning a data. So in this case, if I'm fetching data from the backend, it is wrong for me to use return no content. Do you get?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So if I'm fetching, you don't use return no content because you want to use that data from the database. So you need that data. But if you want to create, right? You want to create an entity or you want to create an entity, yeah, you can just return success response, which sometimes it's okay, right? Return okay, meaning it was successful. Then for update, you can just return no content, which is 204, which is still successful.
Okay, sir.
Do you get? Is that clear now?
Yes.
All right. So let's test it out. We'll update. I've commented this out now. Right, I've commented this out. So let's test it out and see if it's going to still update. So we have HTTP put. Can you see the Swagger now?
Not yet.
No.
All right. Is it visible now? see. Okay. Is it visible now? It's not visible. Can you see it now?
Okay.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here, which helps people gain an understanding the code better. So I will get all users first. Let me get all the users and pick one ID to use for our testing. This is a very simpler way. Like this is a very basic implementation to it. When we go into the advanced, there would be some tweaking or some manipulation on the kind of response you would need to be sending to the front end. So that's where we would be exposed to some extra logic and implementation. But for now, since we are beginning, this is a very basic and simple way of creating an endpoint. So we have all these users here. So we are going to choose this. Let's choose to update this, which is 1005, right? Okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
Oh, I saw you commented out this.
Yes, we want to test it out to see if it's going to update or not.
Oh.
Then I'll comment it back.
Okay.
I'll comment it. All right. So we have 1005. This is 1005. I want to update this 1005 and change the first name to Ede. So just take note to 1005. I want to change it to first name to Ede, then last name to Gift. So let's go to the endpoint for put. Right. So ID now, going to use, we do not need, okay, the ID, this is the ID we need to use. So we don't need this. Yep, we don't need that. So let's copy this. 1005 is all we need. I'll copy this now. Paste it here. All right. So let me remove this. So I want to update what ID 1005. Then I want to change this first name to the Gift, right? So once I do that and I create this, it comes here, it hits the endpoint for this, and I step into, which is step over rather. Yep, I step over. So we have the ID as 1005 and the user, which is what we are updating. These are the properties, the email, the first name, Ede, the last name, Gift is what needs to be updated. So it comes here to check if this user exists. This is what it's going to do. So step over. So it checks now. User exists now, right? These are the information gotten for this user exists. So meaning this user exists in the database and it is not null. And because it is not null, it's not going to execute this. Hope we are following.
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, step over. So it comes here, saves the changes and return no content. And let's see what we have. We have this 204. Which is successful, right? Now I would fetch the same user here, or I can use there's endpoint for get by ID. Yes, let me just get by ID the same user instead of fetching everything 1005. So once I do that, click continue. What do I have here? This is the user 1005. First name is still string, last name is still string. Why was that? Because we didn't track that change and modify it, calling the entity.modify. We didn't track that. That's why it has not updated yet. Hope we are following. Hello?
Yes.
All right, Deligwe, go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry, but I don't know. This is actually the first time I'm seeing these entity states and all. So
Okay.
I've gone through some tutorials, and right now I cannot remember what they use, but I think it's something of find and update, or you just like how you did this context dot users dot find async. I think it's users dot something to update. So I'm trying to still wrap my head around this entity state stuff. Sure.
Like I said from the beginning, right? There are the videos you watch, they are fine, right? Some of the videos, they are, how do I put it now? They are intermediate, advanced pattern, right? So how I do my teaching and all is I start with, since this is a beginner course, right? I start very simple, like very, very simple, right? So a way to do that now is by using this. There are different ways to updating an entity. Like that find by one and update is actually another way, right? So this is a very basic, simpler way to do that. But if you are okay with that one, you can go ahead and use that one, which is as a result of your research, which still works fine. You get? Hello? Was I talking to myself?
Yeah. All right. I heard
Yeah.
what you said.
So I would not want to teach that pattern, that way in this our class just because of some other people
So
here.
not inside the kitchen, not inside the
Yes.
kitchen.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And Sammy, you know, ask question. Okay. Oh, all right. Let's proceed now. So, okay, Sammy is not here. No wonder. All right. So I'm going to update this. Now, for every update you make, if you want to uncomment this, you have to rerun the Visual Studio again, or else it's not going to track that change. So this is where you will restart your VS Visual Studio. Mm, 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 Let me even ask if who do I ask this now? Marianne Abate. Are you following? Marianne Abate, are you following?
If I say I am
I know.
following,
I'm
then
expecting
I
an
am
answer.
lying. Okay.
Exactly. I understand. It's okay. Marian Uba, are you following?
No, so I'm not.
I know.
I'm lost.
Sure, I know you've been lost, but I can assure you when you watch the last video, right, the previous video, it will become clearer. And if after watching you don't understand it, just drop it on the group. I like what this girl did, Precious Steve. Yeah. So if you don't understand a part of the video, the difference between watching a YouTube video, right, and being in a live class is that for the YouTube video, there are two things that will happen. You might not understand a part of the video, and yeah, you will drop a question in the chat in that YouTube, and it will never be, they won't even reply it, right? So that's the difference between watching a YouTube video and being in a live class. In a live class now, even if you miss the class, you can always rewatch, and if you are not clear, you can ask question and you get a response to that. So if you watch it and you still do not understand, then you can ask and drop your question on the channel. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, Precious Dobok. Is it clear? Not clear, I guess. All right, so just try and watch the previous video, please. Okay, thank you. All right, let's proceed now. So I have uncommented that. I'm going to repeat the flow again. Okay, so still that 1005. Yeah, I'm going to update that 1005. Right, so that I will use 1005, yeah, and delete this, change this to the gift, change this to the gift. Okay, all right, so if the ID 1005. Okay, so it comes here, same flow, right? Same flow exists. It modifies the state and save the changes and all. All right, we are getting this. Now this will lead us to what we call try and catch, try catch. Have you heard of try catch before?
No, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
So okay, tell me
No.
about try and catch. Okay, who said yes?
I said no. I
Someone
heard
said
it,
yes.
but I don't know. I have not heard it before.
All right, who can tell me about try catch?
Okay, so I'm the one that say yes.
Okay.
Okay. Try and catch is used to prevent your code from breaking,
Okay.
especially
All
when you encounter an error. So instead of the code to break, so it will just display the error message or whatever the message is all about.
All right. Great. So try catch now, without that concept, try catch, right? The issue now is that if you check the database now, if you check the list of users, you realize that we have a user by name. What? We have a user with this name. Where is the name? User email. Where is it? Okay, this is the user. Gift Ede, right? Gift Ede. We have a user gift and Ede by name, gift Ede. That is why we are having this error. The database operation was expected to affect, but actually affected row 0. Data may have been modified or deleted since entities were loaded. Okay. So these are errors you would see, concurrency exception. So to avoid this, we introduce try catch. So it's a very straightforward logic which we'll do now to avoid your application from crashing. So imagine you building an application that you don't prepare for potential bugs that will occur, right? If you don't apply that try catch now, there's a possibility that if there's any issue that happen, the person using your system, right? You notice some of those applications. If you've noticed some of those applications, when you run it, you will notice that it doesn't run at all. It just displays an error saying cannot open application, please close. Like those kind of popular issues like that. Have you noticed something like that before? Like you try running an application, it doesn't run at all. Who has noticed that before?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've noticed it.
Yeah. So to avoid issues like that, we just try as much as possible to implement try and catch, which once we implement that, a user would run an application and still the application will not crash. The user will still be trying out some other operations, even while this other part of the application is having issues. That's what we want to do now. So it's very straightforward. It's very, very straightforward. So we have user exist list. Okay. So I want to save this. If you check now, that issue occurred in this line. Let me run that again so that you see what I mean. Let me run this again. We have user 1005. Okay. Let's run it again. It comes here, it checks. Which successful. Then it was here. This was where we had the error. So it crashed. So that line or where it crashed, this is where we need to apply the try and catch. Okay. So after applying the try and catch, what are we catching now? We want to catch this particular exception. We were to talk about exception, but I had to leave it to when the need would arise. Then we'd have to talk about exception. So DB update concurrency exception is an exception, right? That concurrency means there's a possibility that you are trying to update the entity that doesn't exist, right? Or maybe two things are running at the same time. Maybe two things are trying to update at the same time. That's the meaning of this concurrency exception stuff. So this exception is what we need to catch, right? So the first thing we need to do, right? This might be confusing, but just pay attention. We had the issue here, right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we had the issue there. So this is what we'll do. Okay. First of all, we have the try catch. Let me write the snippet for it. Then what are we catching? What are we catching? We want to catch this this is the exception we want to catch, right? So try is, what this try does is, where did that error occur? It occurred in this await save changes and seek. So why not put where that issue is going to occur inside this try? So if there's anything that would happen, it is going to catch it and return a reasonable response. Okay, are we following?
Yes, but what kind of response is it going to give?
Okay, let's watch that first. Let's try this. So we'll try return okay. So we see that we are going to try this first. Don't worry, that's it. Catch this, then return what? Let's return okay. Let's for testing or let's just use bad request so that we see something. Let's see. All right, bad request, return bad request. So if in the backend, if the response we get is bad request, it means it's actually catching that error. We just want to do it for testing. No, this is bad. This is bad, but we just want to do it for testing. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. So by doing this now, we're not having the whole idea is imagine an issue occur and your user is seeing this. I mean, do your user they don't understand what this means, right? So we are trying as much as possible to prevent this kind of response in the front end because all this information the user doesn't understand. So we need to return reasonable or meaningful message that the user understand, right? Then this,
Yes.
great. So let's try that out again. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run this now. Let me stop it. My eyes. Right. Sorry, it's loading. All right, can you see my swagger now?
No.
Okay, it's coming up. Can you see this now?
Yes.
Can you see my swagger now?
No.
Okay. Mm, 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 mm. What is wrong with this network? Is it clearer now? Can you see this?
Just not seeing the demo CRUD. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. So let's run it again. Let's check the users that are here. Let's check the users that are here. 1004, 1005. So what do we want to update? So 1005. That is what we want to update. 1005. Okay. So let's see. 1005. That's what we want to update. Let's use 1004 first. Let's use 1004. String. Yeah. 1004. Okay. So first name, let's use Stephen Elijah. Stephen Elijah. Okay. So 1004. So it comes here. This user exists, which is fine. It checks now. It wants to save this. Now it catches the error now. This is it catching it now. Meaning we will not be seeing that long text of response. We'll see a meaningful, readable page, right? So the database operation was expected to affect one row, but actually affected 0 rows. Data may have been modified or deleted since entities were loaded. So this the response would get. What is This is the response would get. Bad requests. Now The difference between having that long response and this is that with this now we can send our defined kind of response back to the front end than having that long response that the user would not be able to understand. That's the use case of this try catch. You are still confused with the try catch, right?
Yes, somehow.
All right, let's try something else first. Let's try something else. I think that should have been a class on its own. Yeah. Let's try something else. Okay. Let me remove the try catch first. I'll remove the try catch now. So I'm going to explain again. This was what we have initially, right? Right? This was what we had initially. Let me stop it and run it again. There is no try catch. I want us to understand why we need try catch. I would run it now. Okay. Share this. All right. Can you see my swagger now?
Yes.
Great. So I would use something else. Let me use an ID that doesn't exist in the database. Let me use 5,000 first. I would use 5,000. Okay. Let me use 5,000. Then try to update. Try to update this to Steven. Let me just use Steven. First name. Yeah, I'll just use Steven. Update that now. 5,000 doesn't exist. So if I do this now, I'm going to get null. Why am I getting null?
Yeah, because the ID you put is not in the database.
Okay, because it's not in the database, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is it's not found. Now I want to use an ID that exists in the database. Right? I want to use the ID that exists in the database, which is let's use 1004, right? Because if we should fetch by ID now, let's fetch by ID 1004. Let me just remove that first. This is what we'll have. ID 1004, user, this, password hash, this. This is what we have, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, that is what we have. Okay, so let's do this. 1004. Where is update? So we have 1004 here. And I want to change this to Steven guitar. And I execute. It comes here. This user exists. This is what we are having. First name is string. First name is string. Last name is string. Yeah, I thought we updated it. Right. Okay. there is an issue because we updated it to this is the issue now. All right, this is the user here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So first name Steven, last name Peter. It checks for that ID string, which is what we have here. Now it assigns this user now. If you check it now, we are trying to modify that state to be equal to this other state, right? And when we save the change, we are having this long response for the user to read through, for a normal user that is not a backend developer to read through, right?
Yes.
Which would not make sense. It's just like you logging in an application like Facebook and there was an exception and you, instead of you to see user not found or email exits, you are saying something like this. Would that be nice? Hello?
Sir.
Would that be nice?
No.
Wait. Why? How is it only a dead that is even answering? Abdul, Deligwe, Marian, Precious.
Class is boring.
Ha. Okay. All right, let's proceed now. So with try and catch now, how try and catch works is first thing you need to ask yourself is where is that potential exception? First of all, locate the potential exception or locate that line that is going to give us that potential exception. So which of the line is going to give us that potential exception? If you check, what line is that?
73.
Are you sure it's 73? Was it 73?
Yes.
Let me run it again. This is it, right? It comes here, it exists. It comes here. I execute this. It didn't give us that exception. So it can't be 73. What gave us the exception is actually 75 because if I should step over this, I would have this error. Right?
Yes.
Hello? Great. So first thing first, step one, locate the line of code that will give us that potential bug or that potential issue. Step two, enclose it or wrap it what in a try. Do you get it? Let me write the steps first. Step one, locate the line that will give a potential what exception, which would stop the application from running, right? Do we all understand this? This part?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes.
Secondly, step two, wrap that line in a try. Step three, catch that exception and return a meaningful what response message. Do we all understand this to this part?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So had it been we ran the code and we're having that exception at this line, what does that mean now? It means we are going to wrap this line in a try first, right?
Yes.
Great. But because we are having that issue here, it means we need to wrap it where? Here, right?
Yes.
Great. And how do we do that? First of all, first thing is we bring in the try, which is a keyword. Then put this here. Just copy this, put it here. That is step one. Step one is locate the line. We have already located the line, which is this. Step two is wrap it within the try. Right? Are we following?
Yes.
Now, step three is what? Catch that exception. What's the name of the exception? Is actually this. Microsoft.entity framework dot db update concurrency exception, right? We have so many exceptions. We have null exception, right? How do we know it's an exception? Because of the is it prefix or postfix or whatever? It's because of this. The name of this exception is actually DB update concurrency. That's the name of this exception. There are so many other exceptions. So how this works is if we write the code and we encounter another exception that is not what DB update concurrency. First of all, let's do this first. Let's catch that one. So we all understand this. What do we want to catch? We want to catch what? This exception. Let's do this. We want to catch this particular exception. Okay. We want to catch this exception and give return a response, maybe bad request. Bad request. Okay. So the idea is if there is another, if we run the code again and we encounter another exception, we have to catch it. So it's possible to catch more than one exception. We can catch 3 or 4 or 5 exceptions so as to prevent our application from crashing and also from having this kind of message that the user would read. Okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
So this DB update concurrency extension, is it like a specific exception for updates? Maybe for the find user, or sorry, for the get all user, we'll have something like DB find or something.
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm talking about this DB update concurrency exception. Is it like
Okay.
an exception handler specific for when you want to update the DB? Because if
Yes, yes,
we
yes.
in
When you
another
want to
route now,
update, yes. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So the meaning of this is more like this kind of exception happens when 2 or more operations try to update the same data at the same time. And EF Core tries to detect that conflict, right? That's what we want to try and catch so that instead of having that long message, we just have to return this meaningful bad request that the user would understand. Edegit, is that clear? All right. She's not here.
Yes,
Edegit,
sir.
is
Sorry.
it clearer now?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's what we are trying to do. So by doing this now, if I run this code, let me run it back again. I'm going to run it again. Let me run that again. Can you see my swagger? I've spent so much time here.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
So, okay.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So that means if I don't know what to call, should I say a method or what I call it? This exception, this line 82. So it means we should like there are different exceptions and it's
Yeah.
something we should also try to learn different exceptions from
Mm.
different errors.
Sorry, come again.
But like I'm saying, since there are different exceptions for different errors now, it's something we should look at. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. For now, it's something you should look out. There is another way. That's why I said I'll just leave that for you guys to research. But this is a very simple basic. There is another way that you don't need to have over, let's say you have over 5, 6, 7 exceptions. Does that mean you would have to be catching those 7 exceptions or 8 exceptions, right? There's a way to make it dynamic so that even if you have 6, 7 exception, by you just using that one exception, it covers for the other exceptions. Do you get?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So let's figure this out first. Let's figure this out. Let me run the code now. I've spent so much time here. All right. Can you see my swagger now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to update this first. So do this now. Try out 1004. Ah, my head. Okay. All right. So let me change this to Steven. Steven. Let me just change that to Steven. So 1004. All right. So it's loading, it's loading. So it comes here. It checks this now. All right. Checks this. It modifies it. Now, it wants to save that modified version, right? Now, because of this try, I will no longer be seeing. Now it's still loading because I've not step over. I will no longer be seeing that long text that the user cannot understand. I would see something readable, and because of this catch. So what that will do is that if I step over this, it's going to catch that now and print out what a readable message, which is in this case going to be a bad request, which the user understands, which is this now. Is it clearer now?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Now we have solved that issue. Second issue now is we are having a concurrency, meaning two things are trying to update at the same time, right? There are two things that's trying to update at the same time, which could be this ID and maybe that ID that I removed. So let's try something first. Let me bring that back first. Okay. Let me put the 1004 here and see. Concurrency has to do with when two things is trying to update an entity at the same time. So let me just bring that together and update to see. If this doesn't work, we'll try the other way. There are different ways, like I said. So we're having this now. The instance of entity type user cannot be tracked because this is another exception now. Thank God we are seeing this. Invalid operation exception. Can we see this?
Yes,
Hello?
you're saying so.
Yeah. Now, second question. Why are we having this kind of message? That is because we have not caught this exception. We only caught what? DB update concurrency exception, but we didn't catch what? This. That's why we are having all of this. So what that means is that we also have to catch this too, right? To prevent this long message. I'm trying to teach two things at the same time, which has to do with exceptions, which thank God we are all seeing it here. Then try and catch and the normal endpoint. Okay. We have this. We have to catch the next one, which is what? This, and print another message. Let's just still use bad request. Okay. Hope we are understanding this exception concept. Gradually. Okay, it's fine. Everything will become clearer. So if I should run this now, help me restart this because I have made updates to this. Don't worry, we'll soon end. Just hold on. All right. Okay. Can you see this? 1005. So 1005. So let's use, let me use this user. Can you see my swagger? All right. Hello, you can see my swagger?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to execute this. So if I should run this, and because I have caught this error, it's not going to display that long text again. I'm going to catch it. Okay, invalid operation. That occurred here. That occurred here now, and not here. Let me run it again first. The reason why it didn't catch that is because it occurred where? Here. All this stuff is practice, so not as if I'm doing testing. You notice that if I should step over this, something happens. So we are having this. So the question is, why didn't it catch it here? Okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
So okay, what I used to for Nest.js, like normally I usually do like useful. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but I was just thinking instead of like moving around trying to catch where you're coming up, is it fine and is it like standard to just put everything inside the catch, the try block and just anywhere error comes up, you just catch. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. What happened? Seems I left.
Me? Oh, I don't
I
know.
think I left. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah, come again. Yeah. Can you see my screen
Yeah, I
now?
was saying, yeah. I
Okay.
was saying in frameworks like Nest.js, like I really do like put everything in try catch so that anywhere the error comes up, it just catches it. So, but
Okay.
is it standard? Because like this now we are trying to pinpoint. I know maybe it's beginner level stuff, but
Yeah.
which is standard now. Is it just to put only those things that we are expecting to throw errors in the try block.
Okay, so what are you saying?
Yeah, so I'm asking if it's like standard practice to put everything in the try block or just choose those things that.
All right, put
in
everything in
try.
try, like having catch.
No. Like just like
Like
how
maybe
line
have try
72 is
catch,
throwing a
try
new error.
catch.
No. Just everything from user exists down to this
Okay,
save
like
changes
maybe put
inside
my
the
try
try block.
here.
Exactly.
Yes,
And it
yes,
will just
yes.
store
That's the what
everything.
exactly. That's what I wanted to do now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So instead of because we don't know where the try catch would occur, right? So we can actually do this. Yeah, we can actually do this. We can do this. Try, right? Then put all of this inside because we don't know and we are not sure where that issue would occur. We can put everything here. Everything here. Even this await would be inside. Even this await would be inside. Then let the catch handles their respective whatever. Yep. This, right? Deligwe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
some people usually say it's not okay to just put everything like this. So I was just asking if it's
Yeah, there
like
is a
that.
reason
If
for doing this. Yeah, this is actually standard. There's a reason for doing this because if you check now, if you notice, the first time now, the first exception we had was the DB update concurrency, and that was occurring in this save changes async. Now, the second exception occurred here. Are we following? Right?
yeah,
Great. So does that mean because of this, because it occurred here, I have to put try catch, try here, and another try here? What if another exception occurred in this part? It then means I will now put another try here, which doesn't make sense. So to solve that, why not just enclose everything in this try? So automatically, wherever the exception occur, so far as it's within the try, it will get that and assign the catch wherever. Do you get that now?
yeah.
The gift, is it clear? Hello? The gift. The reason I'm not asking Marian Abate, Marian Uba, Abdul, because you missed the last class. That's why. So I just want you guys to watch the previous class. That's why I'm not asking you guys. So don't feel offended. Okay? All right. Let's proceed now. Okay, so I'm going to run this again. Okay. Uh,
Please, I want to take permission. I'll be leaving the class now because I have a program. But
okay,
I'll
okay,
catch it.
that's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. All right. Thank you. All right. So this is it. This noise. Someone close this door now. Sorry about the noise. Sorry about the noise. So 1005, right? And I have 1005 here. So let's assuming I want to update this and I click this. So what happens is now is it's going to come here, step over. Okay, then what happens now is the exception will be caught here now. This is it, which is taking us to this next exception. Do we get it now? Meaning we are not having that long message. We're having the exception being caught directly here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. At their gifts, can you hear me? Hold on, let me close this door. All right. So this exception has been caught here. So if I execute this or press continue, I would have a meaningful message, which is this bad request. Now, entry state.modified, we're having issues with the entry state.modified, which is not giving us what we want. So I'll just introduce us to a second alternative, right? A second alternative which works pretty fine, right? It works pretty fine. And that it will be updating it individually, right? So instead of doing this, we can actually do this. We have this state now, user exists, which gave us, which more like says the user actually exists. Now, because this user exists, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. Can you see my notepad? Hello?
Yes, we can see your notepad.
You can see
All
it.
right. Now, user exists, right? Dot what? Email equal to, this is what we want to do. User dot email. This is what we want to do. So this means the meaning of this is this user exists dot email is from the database. It's actually from the database, right? And this is from the request from the front end. So this is what I mean. Email. I'm going to do this now. Request from front end. We have this request from front end, and the next one is, sorry, this is request from, this is backend details, right? Where we have maybe the email is user at, or maybe user at gmail.com. Then name is string, right? So let's work with this to address. Okay, address and email. Okay, this is, we have these two now. Address Lagos, right? This is the information from the backend. Now, this is the request. Let me close this. This is the request from the front end, right? Which is what request is coming from the front end. This is still the same as this, which is this, right? Which is what we have here. Then for the name, we are having what? Ede. Okay, let me just use first name. First name. First name, right? Hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Great. This is the backend details, which is this what? This user exist, which was this. It's trying to get the details from the backend and assign it to this user exist, which is what we have here, the backend information. Now, this user, this request from front end is actually this user here. What needs to be updated, right?
Yes.
Great, which is all we have here, the current request. Now I'm saying if this user exists, means manually assign the database information to equal to the front-end information. This is what I mean. Meaning, if the backend had what? user@gmail.com, it's going to be equal to what? This user@gmail.com. If the backend also had what? User exist dot what? First name equal to user dot first name. So if the user had first name what? String, it will now be what? Be assigned to what? User dot first name, which is for the front end. And because this is equal to the, what will be the current backend information now? Will it be string or a day?
It will not show the data entered.
It will not show the data entered.
It will not show like what the field inside the form. Like what I mean, it will not show the name of the person.
So what I'm asking is, what will be the current user exist dot first name now? What will be the current value for this, since it has been assigned to this from the front end?
Ede.
Why? Because we have assigned, now we are manually updating it. Yeah, we are manually updating the backend value to be equal to the front end request, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This comes with practice, like I would always say. I know it's confusing, but it just comes with practice, okay? Yeah.
Yes.
So let me rewrite that here. The user exists, gets the information from the backend, which is what I'm doing here. User exist dot what? Email, which is equal to user dot email. Right?
Yeah.
This means whatever the user updates here, if the user is updating the email, assign it to the backend information, update it. Do you get?
Yes.
Great. So instead of doing this entity state, which I don't really get why it's having an issue, another alternative is doing it this way. Then you also do same for the other properties, which is what we have: the first name, assign first name. Next one is what? Last name, assign it to the last name. What else again?
The full name.
Do we have full name? We didn't have full name.
So I need to say full name. Like sometimes you're finished.
Yeah, you can. That is derived. You can actually manually, so far as you have first name and last name, you can write the code that will concatenate the two.
The two.
Yes. So we have the gender, which is equal to the gender. So let's just work with these two for now. So what we'll be doing is we'll update the first name and it will automatically update here. That's what we want to do now. Okay.
Yes.
So let's try this out first. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I would spend so much time on this update. Okay. All right. So can you see this? You can see this, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's update it now. Let's choose 1004. Let's use 1004. 1004. Remove this. Then we would use let's use Peter Paul. Let's use Peter and Paul. Yep. Let's use Peter and Paul. So it gets updated. Presently, this is null. But if I step over, it's trying to get the details of this ID. That's what that is trying to do. So it's loading. So this is the information from the backend. This is what we have here. All these are the information from the backend. The string, string. That is why you are not seeing first name as what? Peter. Because it's holding what? The backend information, right? Hello?
Yes.
While this
Yes.
is holding what? The front end information.
Yes.
So the goal is to do what? Assign what? The backend information to be what?
To the front end.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Great. So it come here, we do this. So after doing this now, you notice this. That is, okay, check the user exists now. What do we have as the user exists now? See it now. Peter, right?
Yes.
Last name
Yes.
is still string because we have not stepped over this last name. If I step over this and I still check this, what do I have?
So you stepped over the gender.
Yes.
Okay, is
I've
it
not
like
stepped over, I stepped over last name and it came to gender.
okay.
I've not stepped over gender. So if I do this, I still have this and execute this, it comes here, return no content. So hopefully this works fine. So if I check this, it returns 204. So how do I know it's actually correct? I would go and get by ID. 1004, right? So once I do
Yes.
this, and execute this, what do I have now? Is it updated?
Yes.
Yep. So is it confusing? I know we have spent so much time on this part. So one thing with programming, right? One thing with programming is, yeah, get familiar with I will still go and check and find out why this wasn't working. Get familiar with different
Okay.
ways to doing things, right? In
Okay.
case one does not work, you just try the other way. One reason is due to maybe an update. So maybe this has been depreciated, means it's not longer valid. So one reason could be that. Okay.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. So this is quite straightforward. I believe this is very straightforward,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Great. So if I want to update, sorry, if I want to update what? Alpha, if I want to update account type, what do I need to do? I just need to capture that here.
Yes.
User exist dot account type equal
Type.
to user
User.
equal to user dot account type. Yeah. Deligwe, is this similar to that stuff in the video or?
Yes, this like one way. Then I so anyway, I don't know if we should
No,
go
go
through it
ahead,
now.
go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so now I'm talking in JavaScript. You know, when they say, okay, what if you have lots
Okay,
of
Java. Yeah,
data?
okay. I get what you don't talk am again. Yeah. Don't talk am again.
What
Yeah.
about
So
trading and all?
yeah, I get that now. So the question now is, or the issue which you don't need to bother yourself now. It's just for you to go and think of how to implement that, right? Because that will require something advanced or intermediate. Yeah. This is the very simpler pattern. So the issue now is, what if you had over 20, 30, 40, 50 properties. Yeah, does that mean you would come here to do this over 50 times for those properties? Do you get the issue now?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do we manage that? But for now, since you are beginning, this is fine. This is a very simpler way. When we go into that intermediate level, all right, yeah, I would introduce us to a very simpler to manage that. There's another way to it. I just need to go and check. This was supposed to manage that, but I don't know why this is having issues. I will just check that up after now. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So any question?
No, we just need to go and watch the video, the
Okay,
record.
please just try and rewatch it, please. And if you are confused, just drop the message on the channel, please.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah, so Marian and Precious, I'm very sorry, Abdul. I'm sorry about today. You guys were lost. I'm so sorry about that.
No problem, sir.
everyone is partially lost.
They give you are lost too.
No, I'm not lost like that though.
Uh,
I'm just saying partial. Partial. It's not
okay.
lost in hey. The class somehow boiled because we
Yeah,
are
people were not
just
following, yes, and
we are
because
just
most
stepping
people
into the
missed previous
advanced.
class. Yeah, this
Yes.
is not actually advanced, it's just new zone. Yeah, new territory zone, new territory. But it will become clear, just practice. Yeah, do more of practice and yeah. Delete is very straightforward. Please, and would is just within 1 minute we don't finish delete safe. Try that out. It's very straightforward. Just try it out. Hmm?
Okay, so
All right. So I guess that is all for today. So see you guys on Thursday. We'll try and finish up everything on Thursday. The beauty of this is whatever once we are done with this CRUD for a year, it's just more of copy and paste duplication. The same logic applies for the project. The same logic applies for to-do tasks. That's how it works. So once we are done with this, it's just very straightforward for the other entities. Okay?
okay.
Yep. All right now, guys. Thank you.
And I have my questions. So, but it's not for the class, so
Okay, let me
that's
stop
why.
recording. Okay, stop recording.